Welcome to Squatch-D TV, where the truth is first before all else. Join your hosts, veteran investigator, TV personality, and author Steve Kulls, and from the Kentucky Bigfoot Research Project and the Kentucky Fried Fixes channel, Chris Bennett. Sit back and prepare to take yourself on a journey with the longest-running Bigfoot podcast, Squatch-D TV. Here are your hosts, Steve and Chris.
And good evening, cyberspace. Welcome to Squatch-D TV for today's date, April 10th, 2026. I'm your host, your guide, the Squatch Detective Steve Kulls, along with my co-host with the most, Mr. Chris Bennett. Hello, Chris. How you doing down there?
Hey, man. It's good to see you. Hope everything's been going well for you in New York. We've had some lovely, lovely weather here in Kentucky. And I'm glad to say that we finally turned the heat off and the AC, so that's good.
Yes, we had the heat off as well.
Saving that money.
It's a little chilly, but we have the heat off, and we're just, even though it's getting in the 40s at night, the house heats up very nice during the day. So
yes, that's right. Yes,
so
hold that heat.
It kind of lasts. So in the morning, it's a little chilly, big deal. We just survive it and
throw on an extra blanket on the bed. That's fine. Yeah.
I gotta say, sorry we're getting off to a minute late start, but you see, Chris and I are very good friends. We've known each other now, it seems like forever, right? And we get chit-chat and chat about life in general and other stuff and what's going on. And then, we got a show to do. So it happens, and a lot of times we chat. Chris and I end up chatting. We end up chatting usually for an hour or two after the show, just talking. Nothing about, not necessarily about Bigfoot, but just about stuff in general.
Yeah, life in general is good. But I still enjoy this format. It's nice, It's kind of like, what in the year? What was that? 2001: A Space Odyssey. When we see this first video phone where you can actually see the person you're talking to, it makes it better. It's like
growing up, this was science fiction to us.
Yes, exactly. Right.
And look, we can see each other in high def with stereo quality audio.
Yeah.
Unreal.
I was raised, we had no technology or anything like that. So, when I got my first refrigerator with an ice maker, I was like,
but believe it or not, I have a water filter on mine when they can dispense water. It's got inside the door, it's got a little straw, and you just put it under. Yep. I didn't hook it up. I didn't bother hooking it up. I didn't feel like I need it. Besides, our water tastes horrible here anyway, even though the filter might kill it. But just chose not.
Oh man, those water filters on the fridges, man, they are top shelf, dude. Yeah. I mean, it's better than any bottled water. And I used to think our water was okay, but after you get used to drinking filtered water and you take a drink from the tap, it's like, oh my God, is this chlorine bleach I'm drinking or what?
Yeah. The water we have here, our tap water is just horrible. But see, there is a cabinet made for the fridge. It goes underneath
right.
So I don't know if I would have to drill holes in that and attach water or even plumbing. Pardon me. Hang on a second. Sorry, a little gassy today.
Indigestion, yeah. Okay.
No, not indigestion. I'm just drinking carbonated beverages, and I feel a big burp coming up. But
well, dude, I'm sure you guys have got good water because believe me, when I lived in La Luz, New Mexico, if you ran a glass of water from the tap and you looked at it, you could see chunks floating around in it.
Yuck.
I'm not exaggerating at all. Chunks of stuff floating around in the water, and I was like, I ain't drinking that.
Sounds gross.
Yes, it was. Absolutely.
Mine just tastes like that. It just does not taste. It tastes very minerally.
Well, I draw the line when I have to chew my water. That's not good.
Jeez. Yeah, so anyway, tonight we're going to take your Bigfoot questions on the Patterson-Gimlin film, the Ohio Flap or the Woo. The interesting thing is Jeremiah did send me a link to his website that had all the descriptions of the Ohio Flap cases. Very interesting because a few of them did not come in via Jeremiah. They actually came in through the Bigfoot Mapping Project. And out of the 8 that are there during this flap, only one I really didn't like because the guy just wrote, I saw a Bigfoot there, was covered in fur, and I got scared and ran away. And that sounds to me kind of like, that could have been anybody just being,
right.
But the rest of them sound very detailed as to a lot of what went on. Right. And some, like Jeremiah, the ones that contacted him, he knows very well aware of their names and they're anonymous, but they're not really anonymous to him.
Right. From the locations on the map, though, it would appear that we have movement.
They seem to be moving. At the time they were moving towards, looks like Ravenna, Ohio. And Ravenna has had its share of Bigfoot sightings. Of course, that's very close to the Hocking Hills area and to the like. And we know Hocking Hills has had a history of Bigfoot sightings. But anyway, we're going to do something tonight for the first time. We're going to give it a try. And tonight, we're thanks to StreamYard and its continuous improvements of being the premier video casting service, we now
thank you, StreamYard.
We're going to put up a poll tonight. We're going to do a straw poll here, and there you go. Does the Patterson film sound like it's done for? And you can just respond to that poll, and I want to see if it auto fills into this, either 1, 2, or 3, yes, no, or undecided. And undecided means you're waiting, like me. You're waiting to see the final film. So. It's kind of an early poll. I could have done a lot of other things, and we're going to be doing a lot more of these polls over time. So and Chris, I don't know if you're noticing chat because I'm not looking at chat anymore. Remember?
I'm browsing through the chat right now. Yes. I've noticed there's quite a few people in chat. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us.
Yes. Hello. Welcome.
I'm seeing Reverend Quantum Bigfoot is 3.
Yeah, but none of them are showing
Bigfoot
up.
Society, Jeremiah's a 3.
Yeah, but none of them are showing up on the poll.
Huh.
So.
Well, yeah. It's showing up.
Is it showing up?
Yeah. 1, yes, 17%. No. Oh, wait a minute. Yes went down to 13%. No was 38%, and 44% undecided.
You know what? I can't see those in the.
Real time we can see it. You guys in the chat can see that, right? The poll is updating according to every time somebody types a number in the chat.
For some strange reason, yours is updating. Everybody else is updated. Mine's not. Mine just.
Oh no.
I don't know.
Maybe that's just a little bug they haven't got exactly worked out yet.
That's what it's right.
But so far the undecideds have it, and that as well should be, yes, because the true investigator has to wait.
There it goes. It just updated me as I opened the chat.
Oh, okay. That's
there we
what
go.
It is. That's what it is. Yeah. But as a true investigator, you always have to see it for yourself. I'm from Missouri. Show me.
Right. Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong. But we don't have any reason to believe that the credible people that we have talked with or have with already seen this would have any reason to lie. So that's something that we're going to watch the documentary and we're going to hope for the best but expect the worst.
Well, if I'm looking at the straw poll of the numbers right now, this is a great thing, these polls, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I like it. So everybody can look at that. Right now, I'm going to have to rework the graphics to have a section out just for the poll.
Oh yeah, it's covering up the alien spacecraft down there a little bit. So that's okay.
But this is a neat new function. I love it. Love it. Oh, isn't that cool? Wow.
Oh, Reverend Quantum Bigfoot said it's underneath the chat box on the TV. Oh, okay, cool.
Uh-oh, here it comes. Hang on. Yep, still not quite out there yet. A little bit.
You gotta soak those pinto beans overnight, Steve. Before
no, that'd be out the other side. That'd be out the other.
That's the trick. If people usually don't eat pinto beans and they don't cook them, it's because they don't know how. You have to soak the beans in water overnight, pour that water off, and rinse them a couple of times. Then you cook them. Otherwise,
here we are. We're talking about food again. Yes. Well, see, the problem is I don't eat too many beans.
Right. Many people do.
I'm not a very big bean fan. I don't mind barbecued beans and stuff like that. Once in a while with the hot dog, but I don't make it a habit of eating those things. Right. And plus, when I have beans, it usually has the results where you talked about having chunks in your water, right?
Yeah.
That's right. We'll have a food poll soon.
Food poll, coming. Yeah.
I tell you what, there's been times I've had too many beans. I've made water curdle.
Oh, well, I grew up during the 70s and 80s, and we had Mom always cooked. We never had anything that came from a box. Mama always cooked stuff, and we didn't have like Hamburger Helper and all this really highly processed crap. So we would have, as a rule, for lunch, for dinner, we call it dinner, and then last meal of the day we call supper. But for lunch and supper, or dinner and supper, we would have pinto beans, cornbread, mashed potatoes, or fried potatoes. She would mix it up a little bit, and some kind of meat, whether it was pork chops or fried chicken or whatever. And man, that was some good eating. I really loved it. Yeah. Mama was a heck of a cook.
Truthfully, God bless my mom. She wasn't the world's greatest cook in the world. My father was. My father was an excellent cook.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And not that my wife is a bad cook, but I'm the general person who makes dinners at home. I'm the one who cooks. Because and my father used to have a saying, and I love this saying, is a man who knows how to cook never starves.
That's true.
It's true. I've made gourmet meals out of, whatever I've had left over in the fridge.
I have, experimented with cooking over the years. And when I first started with it, I burnt a lot of stuff. So I got used to eating really black, crunchy food. And after a while, you kind of get to where, you get paranoid you're going to burn something. And so then it starts getting undercooked. And I just go from one extreme to the other. I don't know why. But I have been pretty good with learning how to make pizza sauce and doing pizzas and stuff.
There was a few things my mom really made good, and that was beef barley soup. It was to die for. Oh, it was to die for. Yeah. And that barley thickens the broth up. Right. So it's almost like eating a gravy with the soup. Yeah. Oh, that was good.
Yeah. Corn Cob says, I just did okra and turnip greens and ramen noodles. Not working. Don't try.
No, I suppose not.
Robert, don't see the poll. Robert, I don't know what's happening, bud.
I don't know either. Try refreshing.
Yeah, maybe that'll do it. Just do a quick refresh, and that might bring it up for you. But again, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We appreciate
and thanks for taking part in the poll. And for all our new people, and we have a poll. Just type in 1, 2, or 3 in the chat, and that should auto-populate on our poll, which is something new we're doing here. I'm excited. I'm really cool. I'm really happy that there's certain things that StreamYard integrated. You can see the chat on the screen. It was so tiny that really it didn't help me, but this is phenomenal. I like this. This is really good. We can have a lot of fun with this.
It's kind of hard for me to see without my reading glasses on, but I've got it minimized. If I made it bigger, I could probably say, Walter Kroll gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Walter.
Thank you, Walter. And yes, we know that, starting, the second week of May, we are going to start that online course for forensic interviewing.
Coming up, yes.
Coming up.
And I have the book somewhere. What did I do with it? It's not a requirement to have before you take it, but, you might be interested in picking one of those up. Forensic witness interviewing. And they do have a soft cover and a hardcover edition. I got the hardcover edition, which I like those. They seem to last me longer because anytime I read soft cover books, I beat them up.
And if anybody wants an autographed copy of that before we go
Ristel,
to
new member, hey Ristel,
thank you, Ristel.
Welcome aboard.
If Ristel's been a member before, I believe too.
Yeah.
If anybody wants an autographed copy of that, just meet up with me at Salt Fork State Park coming up on May 3rd. Where the books are on order. They're coming, Chris. Believe it or not, you know how I've always had trouble, right? So I ordered them, and my God, they're coming in 2.5, 3 weeks.
That's good. That's better than a couple
Yeah. In fact, I got a few books early. Like I got three. I ordered the Squatch Detective's Guide to Field Investigations. I'm bringing, I think, 10 or 15 with me to the show. So I had to order 3 of those, and those came within a few days. Right. So I was like, wow, all right. We're on the ball. Bravo, Amazon. Thank you.
That is good. It's still kind of odd how you can put out a new book and I can get a copy of it on the
quicker than me.
Quicker than you. Yeah,
that's right. I paid full price for mine.
Yeah.
To get it there quicker rather than wait 3 weeks for one copy of an author copy.
They should really work on that because as an author you might want to do a book signing and you might need to have copies available.
No, it's all about, you see, if I order books, they're shipping. They're not all that bad. That's the reason why I love going.
Yeah.
I've stayed with Amazon because I've known authors who have publishers. Hang on. Still, jeez, what the heck did I eat today? I didn't eat cucumbers. Will do that to you too, but I didn't have any cucumbers today.
Oh, Reverend Quantum Big says, have to admit, better cover on the investigation book than the others. Well, Steve is improving as he goes along. He's
right.
He's doing better on his graphics and stuff.
I kind of liked my favorite one is the psychology of Bigfoot, where it's got the stick figures, on there.
Yeah.
And that was done purposely. That was something I created. I wanted something to, be simple or kind of Rorschach-y a bit. Not, boy, I just turned the Rorschach test into an adjective. But Chris, we do have an amazing announcement to make tonight.
No.
And Chris put me onto this, and I will pronounce it so Chris can talk about it. But it's the Mastrapithecus mogrenensis.
That's what I thought.
Mogrenensis. Yeah, it's really like a weird. Mastrapithecus we have got down pat.
Mastrapithecus. Yes.
Mogriensis. Yeah. Mastrapithecus is mogriensis. And that's what happens when you name it after, Egyptian cities. Yeah.
It's really cool. It's a new ape species that has been discovered in northern Africa this time, in Egypt. And it's very cool. This was considered a Miocene era ape, which is a little bit earlier than the other ones. So that means it's whereas before we thought, as before scientists had thought that the all the early ape species were found in central to southern Africa. That's no longer true. Now you have evidence with this new species that apes did form and
in Egypt
and hang around in
Egypt.
In northern Africa and in the Middle East. So hey, this is big news, people. This is big news.
Yeah, and the other some of the other stuff is, of course, if people are wondering when the Miocene era was, the Miocene epoch was 17 to 18 million years ago.
Yes.
And this is a 17 to 18 million year old fossil, and is the first definitively early Miocene ape discovered. And it's significantly reshaping the scientific understanding of where modern apes, including humans, may have originated. This puts us closer to the Middle East again. Yeah. And that's interesting because remember, Sumeria is from the Middle East, and that was the first great civilization to come out of modern man.
Yes.
So very, very interesting. It says the size was approximately the size of a small female chimpanzee, weighing about 25 pounds. That's 55 kilograms to you over there, Rev. Its diet,
about 12 kilograms,
and to our Canadian friends, it's
about 12 kilograms.
25 kilograms, 55 pounds.
Oh. Okay, 25 kilograms. Yeah, that would be about 50-some pounds. Yeah.
So its diet, it had a robust jaw and textured molars, indicating a flexible diet, primarily consisting of fruit, but with the ability to process tougher foods like nuts and seeds. Mm-hmm. That's just nuts. Anyway, the researchers from the Mansoura University and other institutions published their findings in the journal Science, suggesting this species is more closely related to living apes than any similarly aged fossils from East Africa. So it's actually older than the ones that have come from the lower part of Africa, meaning that it shows a different area of origination for the great apes. Amazing. And it says, for decades, East Africa was considered the cradle of ape evolution. This discovery suggests that the ancestors of modern apes may have instead originated or diversified in North Africa or the Middle East before migrating into Eurasia and later returning to sub-Saharan Africa.
Big difference, yeah.
This acts as the missing piece in the hominid family tree, filling a geographical and temporal gap in the fossil record. That's pretty amazing stuff. And we like talking about.
History is being made right now in primate research, anthropology.
Yep. Exactly. Does anybody ever want to shoot any questions over?
I took my eye off the chat while I was looking at that.
Oh, that's all right. But we're having a good time. It's Friday, folks. It's the weekend. Friday night into Sunday night. It's the weekend. We are truly the weekend warriors of podcasting, but Friday night, Sunday night.
Walk like an Egyptian. I'm not sure.
Smedley, come on now. That's a bad 80s reference. Walk like an Egyptian.
Very cool. But this is exciting times, though, to be sure.
Right, sure.
That's kind of weird. Seems like maybe these things are going back to originate around the Mesopotamia area.
That would make, to me, that makes a lot more sense because think about the travel route from Asia or from the Middle East. That would explain why we found Gigantopithecus fossils and we have a larger population of apes in Southeast Asia because it seems like the Middle East would be like the center point of everything, right? And then everything just went.
Yeah.
And of course they didn't go north because north is cold, right? Mm. If we like living in cold weather normally, then why do we have so many New Yorks migrating to Florida? Besides for lower taxes. But
depending on how the climate is, if you're in a really tough, cold climate, hard weather, you're going to tend to move south to where it's not or a little more moderate, because that's where all the game is going to go. The game is going to follow food, and if food can't grow where you are, there's not going to be any game there.
Let's face it, on the boot of Italy, the lower part, they don't get bad weather. It's close to the Mediterranean, nice warm breezes and stuff like that. They don't get snow.
Well, we got a question from Mick here. He wants, Steve, what, if anything, have you seen or heard about the new Patterson footage that discredits Bill Munn's work on the Patterson-Gimlin film?
Well, I tend not to look at it through discrediting anything, but if you understand that if this turns out to be true, and we look at the film and go, you look at the film and go, oh my, you end up it ends up discrediting all of the work because it's not real, right? So, and there was a costume, so who knows? Bill Munn says no. We're gonna try to get Bill Munn on, not before the showing of the film. We want to get him on after we all see the film together. I'd like to get his reaction after he sees the entire documentary, see if that changes anything in his opinion. Right. He's been on some other podcasts, and we appreciate that. We appreciate Bill Munn's doing that. It's a good argument. He puts up a good argument, as did Jeff Meldrum when he was live, but I would definitely be interested in seeing what Bill Munns has to say after the release of the documentary, if that changes him any bit, but we shall see.
Well, Mick says, no, it doesn't. Well, Nick, we can't really say, but until we see the evidence, that's the thing.
Right.
But if the
wife
of the man that shoots the film says it's a hoax, what are we going to say? I mean, are we going to call her a liar? She's not credible?
Well, here's the issue. And I was thinking about this today, is that even though I am undecided about this yet, I am leaning towards being more decided than not, because as I evolve as an investigator and a researcher, there are certain things that you have to come to realize. People say, well, let's put Bill Munns aside, because Bill Munns is he's just another person doing an analysis, just like Dr. Meldrum. But let's look at this from an investigative standpoint. Everybody says Bob Gimlin is telling the truth. Okay, I get that. But in the meantime, we're calling this person a liar, that person a liar, that person a liar, that person a liar. I mean, we got Hieronymus as witness, Hieronymus's mother, Hieronymus himself. We have now, you're going to add to that list Patricia Patterson and Clint Patterson and Diatley's wife. And now we got 6 people. So these 6 people are all lying. But this one person is telling the truth. And that's a commonality we see in a lot of witness crime type of things, where the criminal says that everybody else is lying. You're the only one telling the truth, but everybody else is lying. And you have to look at it from that aspect, that regardless of what you think, remember, what's the first thing we do in a Bigfoot investigation? Right? What's the first thing you do in an investigation?
Yeah.
You don't look at the blood evidence. You don't look at the fingerprint evidence. The first thing you do is you look at, come on, scram. He's under my feet doing something. Here.
You got to look at the story first.
I mean, the first thing you do in any investigation is, okay, you look at the crime scene, see what happened, right? The crime scene itself will tell a story, and this is without any of the forensic stuff, which is what Bill Munns allegedly did, and what Dr. Jeff Meldrum allegedly did. What you look at is that, and then you look at victimology. Who are the people, and who are the people around it? What is their background? How does their story mount up? Remember, a film is only as good as the story around it. And the thing that kills me is Al Diatley saying, I don't remember where I processed the film. That's
a problem.
That's a big problem.
Yeah. Nothing against Bill Munns. Bill Munns has done some incredible work, and he's one of my man crushes. I think the stuff he's done on the Patterson-Gimlin film has been incredible. Nobody has come close to doing the work that Bill Munns has done.
So I gave him that huge cookie, and now he's sitting in his chair.
Oh, yes. Cookie is happy now.
Well, no, he's putting his paw over the cookie, protecting it.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope that doesn't cause any issues between the two.
No, the other one's outside. So, and they're very good about not taking each other's food.
Well, our Yorkies had issues with the pig ear thing. One of them would take the other one's pig ear.
Oh, starts a big fight. Yeah,
problems, right?
Yeah. But But, in reality of everything, there's just certain truths that as an investigator, makes me see the reality of the situation. I don't care what anybody else says. This is what 99.9% of the time is the truth, is how the story feathers out to be. And you have one person versus, other witnesses. Well, there's another guy too as well.
Yeah, and Walter says, conjecture, conjecture, conjecture. Even after seeing the film, you'll still need to analyze everything they are claiming. No different than any situation evaluated, any other situation. That's true. That's true. You still got to look at the evidence.
Right. But the damning evidence, if true, is Patricia Patterson saying it's a hoax. And we know that's directly against her financial interest.
Yes, that's not a money grab, I wouldn't think.
No,
because
even though
our chances of presenting that film for money, leasing it out
again, yeah, right. So, yeah, it's it's tough. It's difficult. I know it's a tough nut for people to swallow. People have came into this with this being the gold standard for video evidence. So there's a lot of bias in there when people say, "Oh, it's all conjecture." No, it's not conjecture. When people say this is what happened, that's not conjecture. That's evidence, folks. That's direct testimony and evidence. Got to get that through to people. That is evidence. I'm sorry. You go to court, that's evidence. When somebody gets on the stand and says, "Oh, yep, this is what happened," that's evidence. So, no matter, and it's how.
Kaiju Ninja says, if Bob Gimlin is in the test footage, is that also damning?
I believe it is.
It would be severely damning because that means he was in the situation.
And then there's the evidence of them forming the company. We always knew Roger Patterson and Al Diatley were involved, but now we have the addition of Bob Gimlin into that scenario too.
12 days after the event happened.
Yeah, 12 days after October 20, 1967, they're in Los Angeles having a notary sign off on their attorney signing off on their business venture.
Never knew about that before.
Nope.
See, the story that I had gotten was that Bob Gimlin was kind of left out of the whole deal. And that was the reason why he was replaced on the road by Roger Patterson or Al Diatley, whoever. Somebody hired a Gimlin lookalike to pretend to be him. So, but now that we know that Bob Gimlin was actually 1/3 owner of that Bigfoot company, seems unlikely.
And what people don't understand is if this breaks and people from the mainstream community start looking at it, they're going to believe it, folks. And that perception is reality. So what are we going to sound like? A bunch of people that are going to just throw away what people are saying about the film. It's not good. It's not good. And then, like I said, we're going to have to see the comparisons they have between there, because apparently they do that too. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And for a lot of people, just prepare yourselves. I mean, there are people preparing to fight every word that said, "Oh, that's baloney." And there's like a lot of wrong internet things like Clint always hated his father. How the hell would he always hate his father? He was 12 years old when he passed away. It's not like you develop that kind of relationship, a bad one, unless Roger was abusive. That's the only way you're going to develop a bad relationship with your father.
Well, I did kind of question.
I've never seen that dynamic, Chris, where people are trying to blame the kid, right, for having a bad relation with the adult.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I do question Clint's memory of watching his dad burn the suit. Because, we had a burn barrel and my dad burned all kinds of stuff.
Right. That could have been anything that got burned. And he just thought of him.
Yeah, I don't remember anything my dad burnt other than the trash.
We shall see how he talks about that in the film, if he talks about the burning in the film. Right. If it's just what he says very briefly like that, then. But, the funny thing is that he remembers a little bit, in detail. It was a big trash barrel. Took him about 30 minutes, and he burned it piece by piece. Those are some very intricate details. And he would have been in 67. He would have been 7 or 8 years old, depending on when his birthday falls in on. So,
Yeah.
but
And Mick says, Steve, it's not against Patricia's financial interest anymore. She's probably doing this so that Clint can cash in some money, and she's not long for this world, so money doesn't mean much to her now.
I understand that's an MK Davis thing. You're completely just making things up to justify. You have no evidence of anything of that.
We got to watch the film first. Yeah.
Right.
Gotta watch the film.
Right. There's no interest there. You're just making conjecture up. Oh, well, probably this happened. That's your own confirmation bias trying to solve a situation that you don't want to look at objectively. Plain and simple.
Just don't go with your feelings. Go with the evidence.
Go with the evidence, man. You're making up scenarios in your head, and you can't do that. When you're an investigator, you don't do that. When you're a researcher, you should not do that. I'm going to make up this scenario. This is probably what happened, but I have no evidence to support that.
Yeah.
You know,
I can see the case for it though. If
we can all.
Well, listen. We're playing devil's advocate here. Mick's got an opinion, so let's try to see his side. Okay, you've been licensing the Patterson-Gimlin film since 1967.
58 years.
And now the licensing fees are not really bringing in that much money.
Well, let's blow the whistle on that. We don't know that. We don't know that.
Well, not many.
We don't know that.
Are being made.
Yeah, but how many at 30 grand a pop do you need in a year to make money?
Probably out of the last 10, 15 Bigfoot documentaries that I've watched, none of them have included the Patterson-Gimlin film.
I
they
understand.
may have discussed it, but they didn't include it.
I understand that, but there's a lot of other, things such as royalties for showing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
So we don't know any of that. Everything is based on conjecture from the other side. And people are saying, well, you're basing this stuff on conjecture. No, there's actually a witness who witnessed the film. And that's what we're basing our stuff on, what that witness says. Now, we will have to test that veracity when we see the film ourselves, right?
Yes.
That's why I am undecided about this.
Right.
As an investigator, I have to remain undecided. But I got to say, it's not looking good. But I'm going to remain objective and keep my eyes and ears open. If I see a farce of a costume in this thing, I'll be the first one to call it out.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've heard on one of the shows that Bill Munns did, Bill said when he saw the footage, the first thing that struck him was that's obviously a suit. Okay. Now, when Eric described the footage, the first thing he said was that was obviously the Patterson-Gimlin suit.
Right.
Now, that's why we've got to see it for ourselves.
Right.
So we can form our own
Absolutely.
opinion.
Absolutely. But don't make wild conjecture stories up.
Yeah, there's no need for that. No,
I mean, I think this happened, or this is probably it was Patricia Patterson doing this and that. Maybe perhaps. Listen, 3 weeks ago it was Clint that had the money, not Patricia, right? So who knows?
Well,
the fact is we don't know, and the fact is people are spinning these stories to back up somebody that is claiming all these other people are lying. And let me, I said 6 witnesses. There was also the third-party witness that had Roger coming into his shop showing him different casts, right? So is that guy lying too, even though he has nothing to do with the Bigfoot community, no vested interest, no money interest in it at all? Wasn't paid for an interview, wasn't any of that. That was in Greg Long's book. So there's a lot of witnesses to this that everybody is calling people liars. And I find that really interesting. I mean, to me, it was always Bob Hieronymus. Then you had this character, Philip Morris, who Philip Morris, admittedly, I believe is a liar 100%. Even the filmmakers, the filmmakers of Capturing Bigfoot believe that Philip Morris had nothing to do with the Patterson-Gimlin film. that he was lying. Yeah, he was lying. And if you look at, like I said, if you ever look at Greg Long's book, which destroyed it was the addition of Philip Morris and them trying to tie these two different suits and make them into one. And to me, that is tunnel vision. That okay, I got this. Oh, this has got to be the costume maker. Greg Long would have had a much better case if he had left Philip Morris out of there. But I don't think Philip Morris brought it home.
Nope.
You need a smoking gun, and apparently these guys at Capturing Bigfoot perhaps have a smoking gun, and they have several smoking guns. They have Patricia Patterson, and they have the film. So we're going to have to wait and see what we see on the film when this gets streamed or wherever it goes, and find out for ourselves.
Got to view the evidence.
Right.
You throw all that bias out the window. We're not going to look at it. It's like it's all brand new again. That's all.
I'm looking at this very clinically, and that's probably the most important thing everybody needs to do. Look at it clinically. Not that, I don't think Bob's alive. Well, put that out of your mind. Look at it from, just take all that noise, shuffle it away, and look at the facts. Yeah. Right? Not conjecture, facts. Yeah. And now it doesn't look good when you look at the facts.
We'll get to that, Clint.
Or
excuse me, Walter Clint. You got Clint on the brain now.
Yeah.
So Walter says, on the Bigfoot.
Yes, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on all the Ohio sightings?
Like I said earlier, I got to read. Let me see if I can pull that page up over. I think Jeremiah may be even in chat tonight. I don't know.
I saw him earlier. Bigfoot Society. Jeremiah's in there somewhere. I don't know if he's still here or not, but I saw him. Let's see here.
Hey, it'll only take me a second here. I gave me the link on my Facebook page. I'm going to just pop over there, and we'll break that down for you.
Well, I was really impressed. If these are actual sightings.
Florida man cited for holding a wedding reception in a Golden Corral says the buffet was always the plan.
That's genius.
The stuff I find. Yeah, that's what the buffet is.
That's genius. Yes.
Yes, I'd like to sit my 145 people here, and everybody piles in. And
what would be illegal about that? That's genius. I mean,
I tend to think that
pretty good.
That may be a spoof, but. I'm pretty sure it's a spoof.
It's got to be.
So okay, let's break it down in the Ohio Bigfoot case thing here, and I'm just going to pull this over here. And so case number 1 was in Mantua, Ohio, and the date on that was March 6, 2026 at 12:23 p.m. Location was Mantua Center, Ohio, in a heavily wooded terrain. The subject observed was about 9 feet tall, brown hair, observed by a field researcher with MCO, whichever that is, that was hiking in the area. Subject was stationary in a wood line before realizing it was being watched, and it was about 120 yards away. It then started moving away because it seemed to know that the person was there. Quickly left, and he left the area quickly afterwards. And that was the first report that was reported via the Bigfoot Mapping Project. Case number 2 was also in Mantua, and this was in the Mantua area, Ohio. This was the next day on March 7th, 2026 at 10:52 p.m. The subject observed was 7 to 8 feet tall, again, brown hair. So like I say, when you get over 7 to 8 feet tall, I mean, this could have been the same subject, just that the spatial relationships can be different from witnesses. Sometimes somebody will say they're 6 foot tall. Somebody will say, oh, they're very tall. So, but the big interest in that is that it had brown hair as well. And the story goes, I was walking along a trail near the edge of the woods when I started hearing heavy footsteps deeper in the trees. At first, I thought it was a deer or maybe someone else hiking, but the steps were slow, spaced out, and much heavier than anything I've heard out there before. A few minutes later, I noticed movement about 40 to 50 yards away. Something tall stepped in between 2 trees that looked easily 7 to 8 foot tall, covered in dark brown hair with long arms that hung by its sides. It moved upright and slowly turned its head towards the trail like it knew I was there. The craziest part was the sound it made. It made a deep grunt that echoed through the woods before it stepped back into the trees and disappeared. After that, everything went completely quiet. And that one was reported to Jeremiah. This is the one that I have a little bit of doubt on. Case number 3 was in Garrettsville, Ohio. That's 8 miles east of Mantua. An 8-foot tall, black-haired Bigfoot. And this was reported again to the Bigfoot Mapping Project. And their whole thing was, I was walking through the woods and I saw an 8-foot Sasquatch-looking creature, and I got scared and ran away. He also had a lot of fur. I don't like the descriptors on that one very much. So I'm going to take that one and go, move that out of the way. I don't like that one. The next one, and this one again was reported to Jeremiah. This occurred on March 9th, 2026 at 11:47 a.m. in the morning. Location, Headwaters Trail near Hankey Road. Mr. Hankey. Anybody need a towel? Sorry I had to do that. According to them, it was 10 foot tall and had pitch black hair. My name is, and they redacted the name, and I wanted to report something unusual that my friend and I experienced while hiking near Garrettsville, Ohio, earlier today, approximately 11:47 a.m., which is a very exact time. Just saying. Unless they looked at their watch during the event, which is possible. Somebody wanted to mark the time. That's possible. So yeah. My friend, there's actually the name here, but I'm going to redact that too. Who said he would like to go on record? Okay, his name is his friend Jacob Taylor, who said he would like to go on record. And I were hiking along a wooded trail when we noticed movement coming from a tree line ahead of us about 25 to 30 feet away. We observed what appeared to be a very large upright figure stepping partially out from the trees. The figure was completely covered in black hair and looked roughly to be 8 to 10 feet tall. Again, spatial things. It stood there for several seconds while we watched. The shoulders appeared extremely broad and the arms were unusually long, hanging well below where a normal person's would. When I took a step forward, we could clearly see that it was walking upright on 2 legs. The ground shook slightly as it moved. Well, they're only 20, 30 feet away. And we also noticed a strong, musky smell in the air. After a few seconds, the creature seemed to notice us. It turned its head towards us, let out a deep grunt-like noise, and then quickly stepped back into the trees. We could hear heavy footsteps moving away through the brush for several moments afterwards. We were both pretty shaken up and didn't approach the area any closer. We didn't manage to get a photo because it appeared it happened way too fast. Totally understandable. You're looking at this going, Jacob Taylor said he's willing to be listed as a witness. I would like to be anonymous if you were documented sightings. If you need any additional details, location of what we saw, feel free to chat or reach out. Excellent.
Yeah. And
the whole...
said, were any of these Ohio sightings near Salt Fork? I think these are in northeastern Ohio.
Right.
Kaiju.
Yeah, a little bit north. Little bit.
Salt Fork's kind of towards the... Yeah, well, South Fork's towards the eastern side of the state, isn't it?
Yeah, southeast.
Okay.
Case number 5, Windham, Ohio. This occurred on March 9th, the same day as the other sighting. This occurred at 6 p.m. in the evening. Location, Windham, Ohio, residential wood line. Subject described as 6 feet tall, brown hair. Reported by a younger relative, but observed by a self-proclaimed skeptic from her living room window in her house. It was 100 feet away from her position. Despite its smaller 6-foot frame, she noted an extremely long stride that covered a clearing in seconds. It was bipedal and running. The full duration of sighting was 6 seconds. The sighting previously, that occurred in 15 seconds. According to the finer details on that. So the witness in this case is a self-identified skeptic of the Bigfoot phenomena, lending significant weight to the report. Her statement was as follows: I know what I saw, but I don't know what I saw. So this was reported, and the case was this was reported directly to the Bigfoot Society via email. This case was investigated in person by Glenn Atkins and the Ohio Squatch Project. So, case number 6, again on March 9th. So there's a third one for March 9th, 8 p.m. Eastern, or 8 p.m. Location near Route 303 near Tinker's Creek, crosses the road just after railroad tracks. Subject 6.5 feet tall, lean, brown hair again. Mother and daughter nearly struck the creature with their car. It was walking in the lane of traffic against the flow of cars. So here's this story. Very interesting. Tonight, Monday, March 9th, my daughter, 18 years old, and I were out around 8 p.m., headed home. When we were heading home west on 303 from Streetsboro, Ohio, we were around the Tinker's Creek, low-lying wooded and swampy area, headed towards Hudson, Ohio, and came across something that just left us stunned. We both saw it, but we didn't know exactly what we were looking at. Again, that is perfect detail, because how many times have we said, in the books I've written about like the psychology of Bigfoot, that when you first see a Bigfoot, if it's not in your wheelhouse or you're not expecting to see it, your mind is like, what am I looking at?
Yeah.
Right?
I got a couple of comments I want to get up here.
Sure.
First, Steve. First, I'm going to put up Kaiju Ninjas, then I'm going to get to Uncle Mike's. Thanks, Jen. Kaiju Ninja says fur from one of the descriptions. And I think that's something that may be typical to the person and their perception of how the creature looked, because some of these things have like long hair and some of them have like shorter hair, which could be,
but hair,
some of the impression of fur.
It can be very confusing, because people will transpose fur and hair at the same time. Right. They see something covered in hair, and let's face it, there are no at least to my knowledge, there's no, when you talk about hair, it's because it's a primate, and primates have hair, not fur. Right. And people may not have that knowledge to they see something like a bear or a wolf or a coyote or, a mountain lion, and it's all fur, right? So it's all fur to them, right?
On the person and their impression, right?
Yeah. So that could be interchangeable. And I know I just didn't like that statement that, I saw it and I ran away, and that was it. Like, that's kind of weak. It's like, oh, I saw a Bigfoot and I ran away. Anybody could say that. It was very, very simple. There's no detail to it at all. And there should be. Like we said, the most detail you should get is in your first report. And that's what we get on 7 of the 8 here, is this very fine detail. So again, it says, we didn't know exactly what we were looking at. It was tall, brown, had very long arms, and walking very strange, stilt-like maybe. And just as just was so weird, the thing was headed in the direction of Streetsboro, so opposite of us. I looked right at it as did my daughter, and we both went, excuse my language, what the hell? We say far worse on this channel.
Sure.
Right.
Go from G to PG-13, but that's okay.
What in the did I just see? Right. But speechless. I don't know what we saw, but it made me think of a Bigfoot or something. We are both sort of freaked out by our experience. I know I'm not crazy because my daughter saw it too. I don't know, but I felt the need to reach out. I probably should have reached out earlier, but honestly, this is the first time I've ever experienced anything of the sort. I am up in that area all the time, and I've never seen anything like it. I don't even know if this helps or not, but I felt the need to reach out. You were more than welcome to contact me. Thank you.
Right.
So the follow-up details are I called the witness on the phone, and she was emotionally shaken. I then found out the following information. It was in their lane of traffic and walking towards them in the road. They had to drive around it to get past it. Her daughter could have stuck her arm out the window and touched it, as it was only feet away. It seemed to have a blurred face with no visible eyes, and that could be just, the moment of what are we looking at. The facial hair was lighter than the rest of it. It was all brown around the face. Facial features were not spread out. Again, we're talking about a very short sighting, so some of these details could be filled in by just memory gap. They passed by it, and the witness looked in the rearview mirror, but it was gone in the dark and into the swamp area. The witness didn't want to turn around and look at it. She also mentioned it was not overly muscular, but it was lean. The witness was not into Bigfoot and had not seen his other Bigfoot videos before her sighting.
And there's a question from Uncle Mike. It says, any advice, suggestions, etc. for someone who is apprehensive about discussing their Bigfoot encounter?
So, usually when I start town halls, and those are things you're asking people to come forward with their Bigfoot experiences. There's a couple of things I always learn. You need to connect with that witness, right? They need to have trust in you. And one of the quickest things I use now that I wasn't able to use before 2012, in 2011 rather, I always forget because I have 2 sightings that were year to year. So my last one was in 2012. My first one was in 2011. So one of the things I've used since 2011 is listen, if anybody here has seen a Bigfoot, we'd like to hear the story. And if you're apprehensive about it, I've seen them too. And I know your biggest apprehension is you're going to think that I think that you're crazy. Well, furthest from it, because I've seen a Bigfoot too. And let me describe what I had seen. So if you've had a Bigfoot saying like that too, another way to transform, listen, I've been doing this for X amount of years and I've talked to X amount of witnesses and I've done a lot of research into this and I've read a lot of different encounter reports. I'm not going to think you're crazy if you've seen a Bigfoot. I'd like to hear about it. And we can keep you anonymously. I just want to know about your encounter, what you experienced, where it was and stuff so I can further my research and get moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's probably the easiest way to try to get them out.
If you feel uncomfortable talking with anybody, if there's no local researchers or anything, you can always use the BFRO website or report your sighting there. And that may eventually help some other.
Hey, you can also report it. You can also report it over at Squatchdetective.com. Under the contact form, report a sighting.
Yes, but if it's not in New York or Kentucky,
I don't care. I don't care. I want to know about it.
All right.
Because I have a fine network of investigators and researchers that can go out and spread out just like anybody else. So.
But it's important to get that information out, even if you're apprehensive about speaking with anybody. You can type it out on a report. And if you want to speak with somebody, you can. Or if you don't want to speak with anybody, you just say, "Well, I don't want to talk to anybody."
Right.
or
I think we're
going to talk to somebody.
I think the show's going to roll a little bit over tonight. So, and again, folks, if you're new into the chat, we have a poll up there. You can answer it right in chat 1, 2, or 3. It'll auto-populate right there on our poll in the chat on the screen there for the questions. So go ahead, update that at will.
Does the Patterson-Gimlin film sound like it's done for? Type 1 if yes, 2 if no, and 3 undecided.
3 if undecided, which seems to be the biggest number in the poll tonight is 50%. 42% say no, and then 8% say yes. So if the undecided ones all convert over to the other side after seeing the film, then chances are that it's going to be overwhelming yes versus no, but we have yet to see that. So we'll run this poll again after we all see the thing and see what people think.
Yeah. I'm still undecided myself.
Yeah,
because I haven't viewed any evidence.
I too have put in undecided because even though I've heard of the evidence and that doesn't necessarily sound the greatest, but that's why I play kind of devil's advocate to what some people are saying because people are trying to defend things with some really empty arguments. But I digress. So, so we got 2 more.
The trackway 4.
Love you, man.
Yeah.
Got to be. Yeah. So there's always one in the crowd. Always one in the crowd. And. Joe, get me a Snapple. Yeah, we can have that too.
The number 4th option was if you believe Steve and I hoaxed the Patterson-Gimlin film. I guess.
Even though I wasn't even close to being born yet.
I was like about 9 months old at that time, I think.
I thought you were going to say 11 years old.
No.
And then you would have been like, well, what are you talking about, Kulls? I'm not that old.
Very difficult.
So anyway, we're gonna run a little bit over tonight as usual. Four is woo. Thanks, Rev. Case number 7 was March 10th, the following day. This occurred in Newton Township, Ohio, at the Trumbull County line. 10 foot tall, again, black shadow silhouette. Details the residents was letting their German Shepherd out at 4 a.m. when the dog lunged towards the woods before retreating in terror. The witness saw a massive figure crashing through heavy brush with no regard for stealth. Witnesses know they have bear on their property, but what the witness saw was much larger than any bear they had ever seen. And mind you, Ohio has a very small bear population as well. Witnesses remarked that their dog was shaking uncontrollably when back inside the house, and they had never seen that before. This was reported directly to the Bigfoot Society via email. Followed up with the witness by phone. The witness was extremely emotional, affected by their experience, and was adamant that they must be anonymous. Case number 8, Lake Milton, Ohio. This occurred at a private residence. Subject was seen was a 7 foot tall, dark reddish brown. Again, brown, reddish brown. Female witness observed the subject for 30 seconds from her window was 200 feet away. That's freaking awesome. The Bigfoot was big. It was a red, reddish brown or rust color and was moving fast into the woods. The witness had a view of the side and back of the Bigfoot and noted it was not shaped like a deer. The subject ran with a heavy forward lean towards a pond on the property and then went under a tree, under brush, and then disappeared into the woods. The witness was adamant and stated it didn't seem like no deer and ruled out a bear due to the bipedal shape and its big, fat, round, muscular arms. The witness stated they felt curious at what the heck it could have been. The witness had not checked the area for tracks because she's been very busy. This was reported directly and so according to Jeremiah, the Ohio Bigfoot flap is closed, and it seemed to have started as quickly as it stopped as quickly as it began. The theory from Glenn Acton seems to be the best as to what happened. The weather during the time frame was unseasonably warm, so you may have many more people outside taking advantage of weather doing outdoor activities. More people plus Bigfoot moving around equals 8 reported sightings in 5 days.
Right. And I wouldn't think it would be uncommon, and your average witness is not going to go back and look for tracks and things like that nature.
Jeremiah, shout out to you, brother. Great summary there. And you can find that over on the web at thebigfootsociety.com. So,
good stuff.
I'm sorry, bigfootsocietypodcast.com. So make sure I get that right. bigfootsocietypodcast.com. So anyway. Well, Chris, we have run the course of the show tonight, I believe.
Very cool stuff going on in Ohio. Had been.
Yep.
There was a question earlier. Do you prefer Count Chocula or Frankenberry?
I prefer Blueberry. The other one. Remember Blueberry? That was the blueberry cereal.
I remember that, yes.
Frankenberry was like strawberry and Count Chocula was chocolate.
Yes. I prefer the Count Chocula myself because
every box of cereal had a character. Captain Crunch, Count Chocula, Frankenberry, Blueberry. Tony the Tiger. Don't forget the little leprechaun and the Lucky Charms. Don't be messing with my Lucky Charms.
Right. Yeah.
Who else?
Sugar Bear.
Remember Cookie Crisp?
Yes, I remember.
And then you had the Cookie Jarvis. He was the wizard. I don't know why they call him Cookie Jarvis, but
you had Sugar Bear was on the
Honey Bear. Honey Bear.
Honey Bear. Okay,
Honey Bear was on the one, and Diggum was on the Sugar Smacks. Diggum was the frog.
Yes,
Diggum was the frog.
They had Sugar Crisp at one time, and then they had Sugar Bear, but they changed the names in order to make it sound more healthy for you, like it's not really sugar coated cereal.
And then there was the Toucan. I forget his name on Fruit Loops.
Toucan Sam, Fruit Loops.
That's right, Toucan Sam. That's right.
Yes. Oh, yes. We have a lot of Fruit Loop eaters here in the chat. Yes.
Yeah, we're all a bunch of Fruit Loops here anyway. But yeah, that's fascinating. So we're going to close our poll out tonight at 50% undecided, 42% no, And 8% right now is that 8 or not? As 8% right now are saying, yep, it sounds like it's done for.
I've got 52% undecided, 30% no, and 17% yes is what I've got.
Okay.
But I was out for a little bit.
I don't know why mine is not. Maybe I got to do it. I don't know why.
Maybe when you close the chat, it stops updating or something. Maybe I don't know.
I have no clue. Let me just go back to the widget. Maybe that'll. I don't know why.
Sugar-coated corn puffs, diabetes in a box. Yes, Jen.
Let me just do this for a second here.
Corn pops. Oh
no, mine is still showing the old numbers. I don't know why my numbers are not.
I don't know. We'll have to go back and look at the replay and see what the actual numbers are.
I have no clue, but I don't know why mine.
Back to
okay. Well, apparently I just started fiddle farting with the screen size, and then all of a sudden it showed up. So right now, as we close the poll, and we're doing that right now, and see the poll is now closed. We are at 52% undecided, 30% say no, and 17% say yes. So.
Which is kind of how I expected it to go. I expected about half the people to be undecided because, let's be honest here, we haven't seen the evidence.
Right.
You know, there's no reason to doubt, but what we're being told. But we remember, trust but verify. So that's the thing. We got to verify.
I am going to take a quick screenshot of this poll.
Okay.
There you go. Save that. All right. Oh. And the reason why I want to save that is obviously we're going to maybe make a post on the YouTube community page and see what. But anyway, that is pretty awesome. We can freeze that. So that's our poll for the night. That's very what it ended up being at. Again, 17%, no, 30%, and then we have 52% undecided, which truthfully, if I am looking at it from a perspective as a pollster, before seeing the evidence, those are not great numbers for the Patterson-Gimlin film. Because right now you have more people that are undecided than are firmly saying no. And a lot of those undecided people, if the evidence proves what it says it is, then a lot of those are going to flip to the yes side, and a fewer number will flip to the no side. So we shall see. Well, let's just see what happens. It's all fascinating, a little social experiment here, and I think it's fascinating from my perspective of how things are. But
see Matt. Hey Matt, good to see you, bud.
Yeah, I can't decide. Yeah, right. Anyway, any other questions we need to get to? Again, we want to thank Walter Kroll for the 5 gifted memberships. Yes. Thank you, Ristel, for becoming a new member.
And Ristel has been a member before, but
yes,
we appreciate having you.
Absolutely.
I'm going to go through just some of them I clicked up here. Reverend Quantum Bigfoot said, did Artemis encounter a spaceship of Wookiees on the far side of the moon?
No, they went to the moon. They didn't go to Kashyyyk, which is the Wookiee moon. Yes, I know my Star Wars trivia, damn it.
And Faster Man says, all I want to know is Chris, is the Patterson-Gimlin film real or not? You can tell me. Us Chris's have to stick together. Don't know yet.
Oh, and just so you know, because we were actually, but Artemis 2 has landed, splashed down, and the astronauts are on board the USS John P. Murtha after successful splashdown. And it breaks all Apollo records. Amazing.
Congratulations, guys.
Yes. Bravo, NASA.
Proud of you. Very good job. And, we still have people that deny that the United States ever walked on the moon.
And they're denying that Artemis 2. They're saying now Artemis 2
that was fake. Yes, it was CGI or something. I don't know. AI. It just boggles the mind. Okay. You know, everybody's allowed to have their own opinion. That's fine by me.
Again, you see, there's a story where you have one person saying a truth or an alleged truth, and all these other people are saying, "Oh, they're lying. They're lying." Oh, we have all these liars.
Well,
just don't work out that way, folks. It works out that way if you believe in conspiracy theory or if you're a conspiratorial person, but it doesn't happen in real life. It just does not happen. But I digress. Chris, you know what time it is, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, we went a little bit over, but I guess we're at that point. Thanks everybody over in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure to have you here. And we have the greatest audience in the world, and we know this. Thank you guys. We are so appreciative that you would choose to hang out with us and talk about Bigfoot. We appreciate you having you. This is only made possible but because of you. And the best way to support the channel, of course, subscribe, share, like. If you can, buy some merch in the store. If you don't have money, that's okay.
Or a book.
Like the video. Yeah, you can buy a book. But, we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
And folks, again, like Chris says, we love each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much. And thanks to all our new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We always make that reminder, if you're the last one out of chat, turn the lights off. Make sure you lock up. Now, we love you guys. We have a lot of fun here. And tonight was one of those things that we've been doing so many serious episodes for so long. I think it's time we just took a little break and just took some questions. It's Friday. I worked my butt off this week, I'll tell you what. As an investigator, I worked pretty hard. And today I actually between yesterday and today, I cleared 7 cases. So that's a lot of work. But a lot of fun, a lot of typing, though, and a lot of, But, and when I mean investigating, I'm investigating real world cases, stuff like that. Again, we'll be back here on Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on Squatch-D TV. And I want to thank everybody for being here again. Enjoy your weekend. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend. So everybody, spring is here. Spring is sprung. Thank goodness. We love you guys. Everybody, until then, stay safe. Be healthy. God bless. And of course, remember this. Keep on squatching, folks. Love you guys.
We thank you for being here with us on Squatch-D TV. If you haven't taken the time yet, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And oh yes, hit that notification bell too. We don't want you to miss anything. If you really like our content, you should consider becoming a member. And it's really inexpensive and a great way to support not only the show, but honest Bigfoot research. Everyone have a great week. Be safe and God bless. We will see you all here next time on Squatch-D TV. Keep on squatching.